Mike Trout is out for 6 to 8 weeks, it seems. The Angels are saying the positive side, maybe 5 to 6 weeks. But let's operate under the assumption that he's out until after the trade deadline. Does this at all change what the Angels do at the deadline to your way of thinking?
Well, that's two sides to that question. I don't think it changes what they do with Ohtani specifically.
Okay.
I'm not sure that I would be adding to the team right now and bringing on payroll, but I also would not be trading Ohtani, though I made an argument on Nothing Personal today, I believe, though I can't remember exactly where I was, but I think it was that or Levitard saying that if Artie Moreno were smart, he actually would trade Ohtani and get back an entire haul, save a little money, and then try to re-sign him and do what the Yankees did with Chapman back in 2016, where they let him go to the Cubs. He won a World Series and then came back as a free agent. But Artie Moreno is way too stubborn. And the hammock bone, I heard 6 to 8 weeks also, guys. And I got to tell you, Mike Lowell did it. He was out 4.5 weeks. He was back pretty quickly. So I don't think it'll be 8 weeks. I think it will be closer to 5 to 6 if, in fact, that's what it is the broken hammock bone. And it's not out of the question that they can still make a playoff run, assuming Ohtani's blister is not like Syndergaard's, which is keeping him out forever, and that it's actually a blister issue. I think that the Angels would be smart to hold on and try. But I also understand that Artie Moreno could be smart and try to get a haul of prospects, but I just don't think he will.
You know, we had Joe Madden on a little earlier this year talking about Shohei Ohtani. And we were just throwing around ideas for a Shohei Ohtani contract. And we weren't even necessarily talking about dollar figures, but Madden brought up the idea. And as someone who's negotiated big contracts, I found that I'm interested in what you think of this. Madden said, he said, look, I mean, this is you're never going to see a contract like this. He said you almost have to negotiate a contract with Shohei the pitcher and Shohei the hitter and have it combined into one. And I don't know if you can do that. I guess there's a way where you could have first 4 years guaranteed each, and then maybe put some sort of clause in where if you make 30 starts in the fifth year, I don't know. But how would you approach this as an owner? If you're going, let's say you're an owner, you got a chance to sign this guy as a free agent. You've got a legitimate chance. You're not being used by an agent. You've got a legitimate chance to sign this guy. How would you conceptualize what a contract would look like for him?
Well, first, tell me, am I the president of a payroll team of 200 or 100?
You are a payroll team that could go to $200 million for Shohei Ohtani. How about that?
So I love where your head's at, because if there ever were a time for special money, Shohei Ohtani would be it. Because he's already shown that he would be the best free agent pitcher on the market this offseason and the best free agent hitter on the market this offseason. So you can't sign a player to two separate contracts.
Right.
You certainly can sign a contract which has options and incentives, and it can be based on games started. You can sign a player for $30 million a year, but offer $4 million per start for every start above 15 as part of the contract. But here's the problem. How many years will Ohtani want? Does he want the full 8 to 10 year deal where he's done and this is the final contract of his career? And is he willing to just take a shade more than the best AAV, which is the Scherzer 43.5 and Verlander? Because you could say that he wants $400 million, $50 a year for 8 years. And any team would sign that deal with him, but it's very unlikely he's going to be a top-of-the-rotation guy and middle-of-the-order guy for 8 straight years. But what about a team that would offer him $80 million a year for 3 years? Because you believe that you can actually get 3 years of him doing both, and you're willing to go. That's like a Dodger dream deal for me.
Right.
Is not going long-term, but blowing the average annual value out of the water and making him the highest paid individual player per year that's ever existed. I mean, other than maybe what's going on in Saudi Arabia or some of the soccer players. But $80 million would put him in a place where no one's ever been. So what about giving him $240 for for 3 years and letting him become a regular free agent again at 32 years old, where he may only be a pitcher or only a hitter. I think there are teams that may want to think about trying that with him. So he's got to decide, does he want to get married for 8 years or does he want to do something shorter term?
Before I let Kevin jump in here, because I know he wants to ask you that, David, if that's the case, then that would that open the door for the Angels to re-sign him?
Oh, I think the door is very much open. I've been on record that I think the Angels are the favorite to re-sign him.
Okay.
I think that there's something that happened, and we haven't talked about this, but we should briefly. When Shohei signed originally with the Angels, we got a memo from the commissioner saying that if we find out that any team is offering Ohtani any sort of compensation above what is legal with Ohtani's, he was an international sign, as you recall, not a very big signing bonus. It wasn't a dice case situation. And we all thought, but those of us in the league, that Anaheim had done something nefarious because he chose Anaheim in a way that we weren't exactly sure what's being promised. But when that happened, Artie Moreno, Shohei Ohtani, nobody thought that he would be this, which is an MVP every year and the best pitcher and the best hitter in free agency. So did he get promised a deal with the Angels to stay an Angel forever? Or is that deal no longer possible because he's so much better than anyone thought he would be? So this is going to be the most interesting free agent sweepstakes, bigger than Aaron Judge's, bigger than Carla Paluzzo, bigger than anything we've ever seen, actually.
Okay, say you were in charge of trading him, and the conversation amongst you and whoever you trust in a room is, I'm assuming, how do we not screw this up? How would you go about that part of it? Because I think that if you're going into this, say they plan on it with no Trout, it's going to be tough, right? The pitching's really not good enough. Here come the Astros. Like, there's some things against them. If they are planning on doing this, they won't want to be the team or the organization who screws that up. How do you go about not screwing it up if you decide to trade him? That's the question.
It's way harder. We traded Miguel Cabrera, who maybe it goes down as the worst trade ever, except at the time, we got two of the top 5 prospects in all of baseball, not just with the Tigers. They were two of the top in all of baseball, in Cameron Maybin and Andrew Miller. And yet it didn't come close to being what Cabrera was. And they had 2 long major league careers, but never became true superstars. What you do when you trade an Ohtani, you have to get a smattering of prospects and hope you hit big on more than one of them. So you get a combination of pitching prospects and hitting prospects. Then you get close to the big leagues or established big leaguers to help you not just this year, but going forward. So you get payroll relief now. You get help this year and next year when you hope to get Ohtani back, and you get flyers on really high-ceilinged prospects. It doesn't mean you're going to get it right, but it's better than not trying.
So it's the number. So you would go for, say, 5 players. I don't even know I don't even know where you start. It would be 5 players, 6 players, 7 players. Dare I say 8 players? That's a lot of players, but you get my point here. It's the players. You're trying to give yourself as much room for error as
like the
possible,
Nationals did
not
with
to
Soto.
screw it up. Basically.
It's like the Nationals did with Soto. But
times 2 maybe.
But here's the problem. Soto had years of eligibility left.
Right.
If there's a team trading for Ohtani and they don't get a window to negotiate with him or to sign him long term, then you're talking about a 3-month rental. And if it results in a World Series win, terrific. You would do it every day of the week and twice on Sunday. But the odds are the team that trades for Ohtani will not win the World Series, only because it's that hard to do and it's so vague what happens in October. You need a lucky bounce or you need something to happen that you don't expect. So I don't think that Ohtani would get 8 players, but you do want as many as you can because it's hard to get it right. Even for the most seasoned baseball veteran scouts, it's really hard to get prospects right.